Hey, what's up? Welcome to episode 0 of Hackway Heights. It's an actual play podcast where we play the game Electric Bastionland by Chris McDowell. It's a game that has not a lot of rules. The purpose is to try to get the rules out of the way of the player's creativity. That's something that we're going to test on this very podcast to see if that actually works. But for this episode, this is like a preview of what we're going to be getting into in the actual series. We're going to be creating characters with my players, and I have 3 beautiful players who are indulging me on this little ride, and I'm so thankful for all 3 of them. But they're going to be creating characters tonight, so you all can see how characters are made and see a little bit about the world that they're going to be playing in, which I'm very excited about discussing and creating with my players at the same time. And you can see if this game is something you would want to play with your friends. I hope it is. And there will be links in the descriptions and show notes on how you can get a hold of this game, where you can find out more about it. But I think we're going to go ahead and start moving forward into creating character and not wasting a whole lot of time. Or we'll probably end up wasting time eventually, because we like to chat. First, I would like to introduce a friend that I would say I have probably eaten more terrible pizza with this person than any other human on the planet. And I haven't eaten with him in over a decade. I'd like to welcome Nathan Gregory to the stream.
I was like, he's talking about me. He's talking about that CC's Pizza Buffet.
Man, it was those are good times, just eating terrible pizza that's been left out for maybe an hour and a half.
Hey, but there's a lot of it, so
there was, and that's what we needed when we were in college, was just a lot of something.
Yeah.
To survive. Nathan, how's it going, man?
Yeah, it's going great, man. Thanks for having me. Happy to be a part of this. It's gonna be fun.
Thank you. I'm really excited to get to play with you. I think one of the best parts for me in terms of how my pandemic life has gone was that you and I got to reconnect a little bit and play games that we didn't play games like this. We didn't play role-playing games or board games or anything like that, I don't think, in college when we first met. Is that right?
No. Yeah, no. We never played games together at all.
I think we played Apples to Apples.
Oh, yeah. Some parties.
One night we played Apples to Apples until we were sick of it, I think.
That was a good game once. The one time. I figured it out. Let's move on.
Yeah, okay. All right. Cool. So that's Nathan. I also would like to introduce my better half. Maybe it's debatable. My wife, my partner in this, Out of Depth, which is the name of our little company that we have here, in which we are trying to produce content that revolves around storytelling and role-playing games and how we communicate with each other through storytelling. I'd like to introduce my very awesome wife and one of my favorite people, probably my favorite person to play with, which is why I married her, Gail. What's up, Gail?
Hi. I'm not your better half.
I said it was a debate. It's not really for me to say.
Can I say?
So,
I mean, you can say
it. To debate?
It's an opinion that you can have. You can have that opinion, I guess. That's fine.
Yes, but, I debate, Gail. You're better.
Thanks. See, Nathan knows what he's talking about.
Okay, well, that's one person out of 7 billion that's going to agree with you, but whatever.
Taking notes.
Taking the notes.
1.
Gail, on a scale of 1 to 50, how excited are you to be creating a character tonight?
Really, really excited. That it would be a 52.
It'd be a 50. 52.
52 part card pickup. Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what you end up getting tonight. One of the fun parts about this game is that there is like 100 different character jobs, not really classes,
frames,
skeletons that you could randomly get. And you're not really sure what you're going to get until you roll the dice. But they have so much fruit and flavor to work with that I think what I really love about this book is everything kind of inspires you to build outward and be really creative and really go out there. Yeah. So I can't wait to see what you end up getting, because I know you love coming up with like character concepts, and this is a game where the character concept is kind of like given to you
by
and you work
fate.
from there.
Yeah. That was something we talked about. Is do we want to allow us to create characters or let the dice roll it? And so for this first one, we're just gonna let the dice roll.
Yeah.
So if people aren't really used to, I don't know how to make a cool character. Who cares? Let the dice decide.
Yeah. And that's what's going to happen here momentarily. But before we get to that, we have to add our third and final player. Another one of my favorite people to play with. We used to have a weekly game, and it was some of the most fun, including the time when I killed his character, made all of us cry, and made him so upset that he moved to another city
And
far away from where I am. I'd like to welcome Mr. David Jackson. David, how's it going? Good, sir.
Pleasure to be here. And I will have to say, that's not the only time you've killed me. Usually I die whenever we create something. I'm usually just fodder.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I think that death is on the table in this game. I don't think that it's kind of weird to say that that death happens really easily in this game, because there is a little bit of leeway, but like it's not like you have a ton of hit points. You know what I mean? Like it could happen. But, you know, we're only playing it for 12 episodes. So just, you know.
Well, Anna's, anyone that has had you as a DM, we all know that you don't pull any punches. And
I try to make it seem that way.
If we put her, well, you make it seem, it definitely seems that way.
Yeah.
That's what's fun about it. It's a little more real life. It's
absolutely.
Not, if you Leroy Jenkins it through here, you're gonna get smacked down.
You die. There's no resurrection spells or anything like that. You know, you just die when you're dumb. So don't be dumb.
We have a game that we play, Gail and I, with some other folks online, a D&D game, and they have a little bit of a penchant for like just going in headstrong into terrible situations, and it resulted in nearly everybody in the party except for one dying.
Mm-hmm.
And several sessions and several almost deaths, almost complete party wipeouts later, they had a session last night where they had like the best infiltration of a lair ever. And when they're only halfway done with it, and they were like, I think we're getting better at this.
Hey guys,
and it's been months.
We've got most of our hit points still.
Yeah.
I think we avoided the disaster.
Charge in anytime, but
we used
all of them use weapons and spells that like make huge noises, and they use it right at the top. Like the first time they deal with something,
the whole army just runs.
No, in my D&D session, I have shatter as a spell, and that's a
they
destroys any type of.
Yep.
Everyone in the caves just come flock to you when you cast that spell.
Yeah, we had this situation where it was dark. They were fighting things in the dark. They cast shatter like right at the first sign of like bad stuff happening. And then I was like, yep. And you just hear that echoing deeper and deeper in the caverns.
And everyone's like, we should investigate that noise.
Yeah.
And the wizard goes, oh no, I forgot.
Yeah.
And then you hear drums in the deep.
drums and hoof. Yeah, it's yeah.
And you all can just pose as people being like, we heard that noise too. That was crazy, guys.
Yeah. Did you guys hear that? Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was nuts.
We just passing through. Noise.
We all live in this cave.
We all live here. We're all normal citizens of this cave.
Things that live in here.
Don't you think it's sad that it takes like an explosion like this for us to meet our neighbors?
Right.
Like,
yeah. See, there's a way to get out of making loud noises. You just have to, kill the people you were in that room with, and then wear their clothes and pass it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So with Electric Bastionland, which is the game we are going to be playing tonight, not Dungeons and Dragons, we're going to be creating characters. We're going to start recording episodes in January. So my players are going to get to sit with these characters for a couple weeks before we start really playing with them. And character creation in Electric Bastionland is fairly streamlined and fast because there's only 3 stats that you have to deal with. It's strength, dexterity, and charisma, and that's it. So character creation is not going to take all that long. So we'll start with we're going to start with Gail. Are you excited? Because you said you were at a 52, and I think that we need to get you
me a character.
Going first.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
All right. So Gail, 3d6.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to give you the choice. Do you want to roll straight down the line, 3d6, putting that stat in, or do you want to choose? I'm going to let you have the option of where the dice go.
I think I'm going to go straight down, even though I know I told you that I was going to choose.
Yep.
I'm changing my mind.
Okay. It's locked in now. You can't change your mind again.
I can't change my mind again.
All right. So this first one is going to be your strength score.
Yep. Strength. That's 6, a 1, and a 4. So that's 11.
Nice. Okay. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Your dexterity is your next score, which handles your quickness and precision, is what it says in the book.
That's 2 6s and a 3, so 15.
Okay.
I am wily.
And then finally, your charisma, which is charm and confidence, which you have so much of.
You're so sweet. 9.
9. Okay, that's better than your last character.
It's better than my last character, which is
that's like
4.
double. That's more than double what your last character was.
11, 15, and 9.
And we thought that character was going to be broken, but they weren't.
No.
They were tremendous character.
She's good.
Cool. So we have an 11 for strength, a 15 for dexterity, and a 9 for charisma. There's no intelligence or wisdom stats. That's up to the players to decide how dumb or smart. Players kind of, if they want to role play it that way, they can. If they want to just be themselves, but with 11 strength and 15 dexterity, they can just use their own intelligence. That's usually what's going to happen anyways. So, awesome. I am going to bring in David.
Howdy.
How do you want to do it, Dave? I gave Gail the choice because we had discussed it a lot, whether or not you want to go straight down or you want to pick and choose.
Yeah. I do you think it's smart for all of us to just kind of do it randomly, or in the interest of a balanced team, should at least one of us select?
So I'm glad you brought up the idea of balance. There's no real balance.
Okay.
Because as far as like character careers, which is what this game goes by, some games go by classes like wizards and barbarians. This one goes by like a failed career, and that just kind of starts you off, and then you can kind of go from there. There's not a real system. There's not enough number crunch there for there to be balances of like this person's a healer and this person's a tank or whatever. It's really kind of just the 3 of you are just going to be playing together. So yeah, it's really up to you. If you want to pick and choose, and if you roll like a really high number and play, you're like, I want to play a really high charismatic character, we can do that.
Okay. We'll go random. And if I decide to retcon afterwards, we'll see. But we'll just try and roll it out, see what happens.
All right. So I have to ask you before you roll this first one, does it bother you, the idea of going random? Like, it sounds like it's a little outside of your comfort zone of just going straight down.
No, I kind of love it as well. But coming into this, I always like trash charisma as a stat usually in D&D. And I did kind of come into this being like, I would kind of enjoy playing a high charisma character. So if I have really shit charisma, I might switch some things around. But
okay.
that was kind of the only reason coming in. But otherwise, like, I kind of enjoy the idea of randomness of like, okay, this is my character. Who do I want to create that is this? So.
Yeah. Whatever this is. All right. So your first roll is going to be for strength, then 3d6, add them together.
All righty. We got 10.
10. All right.
A 5, 4, and a 1. All right.
That checks out for me.
Yeah, that is what that adds up to be. It's also interesting that like there's no rerolls or anything like this. It's like you could just be like a kind of a weakling and bad at things.
What's kind of neat about the game, and we'll get into this, something that they build into the game, something they talk about is the idea that like if you get like a terrible stat, you can find ways, if you can find the money or the means to fix that stat.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So like say you had like Gail's character, the last time we tried out this game, Gail had a charisma of 4.
Oh wow.
Wow. So the odds of her ever succeeding in anything charisma related are pretty small.
Yeah. Most likely anything she tries to talk her way out of, they're just going to dislike her even more.
And unfortunately she was playing a character in which she was supposed to be like a very big people person.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
And these just conversations just kept kind of going to shit.
So she ended up being someone that puts herself out there, but people are like, we don't like you.
Yeah. That was literally what her character was.
Yeah.
And, but like if she, we could create something where she's like, I want to go to a place where I can work on this skill. And I go, okay, well, if you've got like $1,000, I'll let you do this and you can re-roll.
Oh.
Your stat, but you have to keep the new number.
Yeah, like going to night classes on like how to be a conversationalist.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Charisma for dummies or something like that. Yeah. And then you go in and like say with you got a 10 in strength and you're like, man, I really want a stronger character than that.
Yeah.
We could get you into like a Bastionland version of Gold's Gym, or go train with somebody and then. All right, re-roll. And if you re-roll and you roll like a 5, you have to keep the 5, which means like you failed at this and you wasted a lot of money.
That's right.
So
you somehow went to the gym and you learned bad techniques and you're now a weaker.
Yeah, you tore out your back like doing like squats or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like doing deadlifts. You like a huge hernia. So now you have like a
It's like that did not pay off.
But that's how your character kind of grows is engaging with the world that way, and that's how you gain interesting flavors to your character.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. Let's dex it up here.
Dexterity.
That's a 9. Okay.
You're terribly average right now.
Yeah, I am extremely average. So
I kind of like it.
Yeah. Just like I'm just some guy.
I like it because we just had this conversation talking about being able to roll. And I love the idea of you being in the middle to where you'd be like, I want to try and fix this. And I want the number to be just in the middle where you have to risk it. Like risk rolling lower.
Yeah.
And finally, your charisma.
That is a 13 for charisma.
Okay. Pretty good.
Well, I did want high charisma. And it just rolled out that way. So
yes, I mean it's pretty nice. Now, and Nathan knows this because he also played with us. But I'll tell you, like the way the game says to do skill checks is you roll like a D20, and you just have to roll under your stat, your attribute.
Oh yeah.
So like if you're trying to pry open a door, then I'm going to make you roll a strength check. And you would roll the die. And if it's under a 10 in your case, because your strength is 10, then you would be able to succeed.
Got it.
The way I do it a little differently. I do it with 3d6. So you're rolling the 3d6 instead of a d20. The odds change a little bit there, obviously, because the best you can do is an 18. The lowest you can ever get is a 3, obviously.
Yeah.
But to mitigate that, if you're creatively trying to solve a problem and you're trying to give yourself some type of advantage to doing it, so like you have low strength, you want to pry open this door. If you're trying to do it brute strength, you're going to roll 3d6. But if you're like, hey, I find like a wedge, like a crowbar, and I'm using that crowbar, then I'll take away a die. And give you like, so then you're rolling 2d6.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's just like a little incentive to be like, how
think
can
outside the box?
Yeah, how can I give myself the better advantage to making this work for me?
What happens if you roll the number? If you're trying to beat 10 and you roll a 10?
I think I think it's up to me, really, but I think I'll go with if you can meet it, you're good.
Succeed.
Yeah, 10 or lower. Yeah. 10 or lower, I think, is fine. All right. And now we're going to go to Nathan.
Hey.
What's up, buddy?
Hey. So I'm going to use my the dice roller on wizards.com. So 3d6.
Yes, sir.
The first one is 13, and I'm just going to go down like everybody else did.
Okay, so 13 strength. You're the strongest guy in the party right now.
What?
Yep.
11.
11 dexterity, and then charisma is
10.
10.
10.
All right.
That's not bad.
No, I think you guys have good scores. Like you have a person who has a high dex, you have a person who's good at charisma, and you have a person who has a high strength like you.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, since I have you here, I have a feeling that, David, correct me if I'm wrong, you're the youngest person in the group.
I would need to know everyone else's ages to determine if that's true, but probably.
We're all the same age, basically.
Yeah.
So, I know you're younger than me.
Yeah.
So, all right. Okay. So we're going to go to you last because you're the youngest, it has an important effect on the game. So you're going to be the last one to know what your class is.
This is in the rules, or is this just something you make it up?
It is in the rules.
Really?
It's in the book.
Okay.
For some reason, I just automatically thought of a mechanic where you're like, there's this little weird rule about the youngest, and this is like a death match in which we all chase him down. Yeah. And it's like, oh, you're the rabbit. Start to run. And we're like, what?
No, I'm just I don't know what this twist means. It's like, okay, so your character it's literally a baby. You're just like a strong baby.
It's not that crazy.
Okay.
It's really kind of simple. But like, we'll get to your character last. And we're going to start with Gail again. Choosing your character. Now, the way the game works, let me pull up the matrix. The way it works. All right. Over here on the right-hand side of this, you can see this ability score matrix, where you take your lowest score and your highest score and you find a number in the middle. Okay. Now we can do that. So, for example, Gail, your lowest score is what?
9.
9. So we'd go to 9, and what's your highest one?
15.
So you would be a 61.
61.
So we could do it that way, or we can go full random, and you all would each roll a D100, and that would be how you select your career. Now, in theory, the way this is kind of situated is that people with like really bad scores get like a really cool job. So it's a little balanced that way. Mm-hmm. But if you want to throw caution to the wind and roll a D100 and find out what you get, we can go that way too.
Gosh, I really want to do it both ways. I
know, right?
I'm like,
I vote random myself, but I'm fine with whatever.
D100.
Yeah, let's rando it up.
Right.
So like one, you're like a shit shoveler, but like 94.
No, opposite.
Oh, flip it. So like, yeah.
I understand.
So like one would have like cool stuff on their person, whereas the higher you go, like maybe I don't know how realistic the balancing is here.
It's not that.
It's all kind of crazy.
It's not all that. There's not a huge difference from what I.
It doesn't feel that way to me, anyways. Yeah. It feels. It feels like it's all
their
cool.
profession or their former profession, or
yeah. Okay. And this former profession is going to determine what you start with as a character, any special little traits that you have.
It's our failed career.
It's our failed career. That's so.
So, for example, I used to work in a video rental store, so I have a bunch of VHSs, and which I do. I think I still have some VHSs around here somewhere, and old crappy DVDs and stuff like that. So those are the items that I have from that failed career that I no longer work at. Yeah.
So how useful that is to you in this game is kind of up to you. Yeah.
Do we decide like how recently we failed at this career?
Yeah.
So once we get everybody's failed career, we're going to discuss how you all ended up coming together.
Okay.
And we'll kind of piecemeal this information together as to like why you guys are together and how recent it was that you failed your career. We'll also find out maybe how you left your career, like, or what was the last thing you did there.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with Gail. Gail, this role is the most important role you're going to make tonight.
Okay. I'm good with that.
It's also probably the last roll you're going to make tonight.
You don't know me that well.
You're just going to keep rolling dice.
80 even.
Oh boy. Where are we going to go? With that 80. I'm so excited. I'm passing some of my favorite failed careers. And okay. All right. I'm going to pull it up for you.
Yay.
All right. Yeah. You are an agricultural saboteur. You carried out dirty jobs for malicious farmers. Now you see Bastion is even more ruthless.
Oh my god.
You get a pitchfork to start, and it is bulky.
Is that like two hands?
I think so.
Something like that. Pitchfork, bulky.
I'll be able to take time to figure out what all these like conditions mean
when I want to stab something with it. Okay, and it's a D6.
Yeah, and it does a D6 damage. It isn't the last roll. You get to do 2 more rolls. Right.
I knew it.
So now we need for you to roll your starting money.
Okay. 2. I got 2 monies.
All right. You have $2. And then also, who was your last employer? Curious Creameries. Take a big urn of strange milk.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So you've got a big urn of strange milk to start this game. And $2.
Okay.
So much juice. So much juice. I love this game so much. And I love the art.
Yes.
What is happening? It looks minimalistic, but it's not. It looks like it still has like so much flavor to it, even though it's just like these little scratches. It's so good. All right. And then your last roll is your hit points. And
okay.
What'd you get?
4.
4. What's the last scrap of your life as a saboteur? And with a 4, you have a sack of machine scrap. 1 in 6 chance of any machine part you need is in there.
Oh.
So you have a sack of just So what is it?
A 1 in 6 chance. So I will.
Yeah. So
I could say, can I reach into my sack and roll a d6 and see if
is there a door handle in here that we can use, or like is a spigot or something that we can use to do something? And I'll give you a 1 in 6 to reach in your satchel. This is a ridiculous character already.
So
this is so weird.
This is so weird.
Love it.
This is so weird.
I love this game so much.
So I know Bastion is the city. It's the metropolis.
Right. So Bastion is the name of this metropolis, and then we're going to be playing in a borough called Hackway Heights that I created. Chris McDowell, who invented this game, has this incredibly cool system for like helping facilitators of the game develop their own borough. And I've developed what I think is a pretty neat one. And you've played in it a little bit, so you know a little bit of its mystique and its intricacies. Not a lot, but like I'm really excited to go there. But so you can talk about your characters. It's something to think about for when we come back to you after I deal with David and Nathan's characters is, were you working for maybe a company is Curious Creameries in the city and they outsource from the farms nearby?
Well, and that's what I was going to ask is what's the place outside of Bastion called?
It is called, I believe it's called in the game. They call it Big Country.
Big Country. So I could be from Big Country, or I could be from Bastion, or vice versa, or
yeah. I mean, it's called Deep Country, not Big Country.
Deep Country.
Deep Country.
That's nice.
Or you could be somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it's kind of up to you, but it's something to think about. We can invent that together.
One last thing before we switch it over to Nathan. What were the names that were on that for inspiration?
Oh, it does have sample names. It has 4 of them. Irmer. Ibly. Dale. Like Dale, but Dale.
Dayal.
L. Yeah. Dale. And Dale and Annie. Ani.
Okay. Thank you.
Or Ani.
I don't know. Trying to think. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. give that some thought. Nathan, what did you think about that?
What? I love that freaking character. That's so awesome.
Cool. Agricultural saboteur. You're going to work with a former one. Like
that is amazing.
That's so nuts, man. I was in the car, and this is the one I flipped to today, and I was like, "That's fucking cool."
That is so cool.
What a cool character.
Because I mean, with what we played around with before, I mean, it makes perfect sense that kind of a job could be in this world, but we didn't do anything that was anywhere close to that.
No,
that's such a cool character.
Pretty excited about it. All right, man. So we're going to do a D1 hundo, and you're going to tell me what you got.
32.
We're going back. 32. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can find this page real fast on the PDF. Oh, this is a special one. There are 2. Oh, God. I almost don't want to tell you what the first choice is because I was going to use this as a surprise in the game.
Oh, okay. Well, you can do whatever it's
fun. But I feel like it's okay if I just give you the option, right? So the first choice is what is it's like a species in the game that when we played you didn't run into yet.
I most likely want to do that.
All right, I want to do that. It
I have
is.
no idea what this species is. It's slime that can't talk or move.
I don't know. Once I describe it, I don't know if you're going to want to play it, but I'm pretty sure you're going to love that this exists. They're called mockeries. And mockeries are an imitation of life in felt, wood, and string. They don't need to eat, drink, sleep, or love, but still feel the drives to do so. They are essentially Muppets. Muppets that exist in this world. That's awesome. That's A. That's choice A.
And so with that, if I do that choice, there are still it still has some sort of other stuff that comes with it. That's like it's had some kind of a life, right?
Yeah, it would. So for this one, you would be able to, when you roll, it would be what kind of mockery are you? So it would determine what kind of mockery you were. Mm-hmm. So what kind of animal your felt creature is. And then it would be, what is your theatrical flair?
Awesome.
So that's A. We'll put a pin in that for now. And then B is alpha tester. For safety, you had to push the button, flip the switch, taste the glue. Your contract was the only thing worse than your pay.
Yeah.
Which is not a Muppet.
Yeah. If I do the Muppet, does that mean I have to talk like this all the time?
like your head's like going back?
Like I'm Muppet?
No.
No, yeah, I'm definitely going Muppet.
Of course you are.
Of course.
Well, a mockery. Sir. Yeah.
I love it. I love that they're like, we're giving you an option. Do you want to be this really cool, crazy Muppet creature or a guy that pushed buttons?
Like, I don't know. You could probably get some cool stuff if you were an alpha tester. You know what I mean? There's probably some like cool gear. All you're getting as a mockery is like, all right, well, we're going to find out.
Yeah.
So you're going to be a mockery. I'm going to show you the page. They have names like Tremor, Poggy, Pseudo, and Drench It. And you get a hidden knife out of the gate that does a d6 damage if you hit somebody with it. And three mock bombs that do a d8 small blast. And I'll send all this to you guys after the session. So you already start with a knife and bombs.
Nice.
Which is insane.
And then I roll a d6.
And you'll roll a d6. This will tell you what your starting money is and what type of mockery are you.
3. So
you are a mock lizard. Nice. And you get a monocle. Nice. So you have 3 starting money. You're a lizard with a monocle. Man, and bombs. A lizard, monocle, bombs, and a knife. This character is batshit crazy already. All right, in order to find out your hit points, we need to roll another d6, and this will also determine your theatrical flair.
1.
Wow. Song and dance. Take a musical instrument.
So 1 HP. Great.
1 HP.
Awesome way to start. Guess it is a Muppet, so can't expect much.
I think you're also the strongest too, right? You're the strongest one, but you have 1 HP.
Yeah.
This will be fun.
So any musical instrument, or do I roll for a musical instrument, or?
No, you tell me whatever you want. And you can think about it if you wanna. While I'm working with David, you can think about it.
Yeah, I'll think about it a little bit.
All right, man.
Awesome.
Any other questions before I move on?
Nope, got it. I'll think of a name and an instrument. Awesome.
Oh man, David. David, so here's what's special about this. What's special about this system is that Gail, or this night, is that Gail and Nathan have played with me with this game, I think 4 times.
Yeah.
4 sessions total. And so we went through the whole character creation, did all. We've done this. David has never read the book. That's part of the reason why I wanted to play this game, is I wanted to try something where I like to play games where like my players don't have to buy a book to play. I can just say it to them and they understand how to play the game.
No, I would have read the whole book, but you were like, no, we'll figure it out as you go. So that's something, but I mean, my whole perception of even what this game is has changed. I didn't even know agricultural saboteur was a job you could have. And now we have someone that failed at it. And the story of how did she fail at this?
I can't wait to find out.
Did she get caught? Did she actually like make the crops better? And it was like, wow, that's not what you should do.
No, you failed at this.
And Nathan's a failed Muppet, or I guess he didn't fail.
He's just failed mockery, or
he cannot take any damage.
He is just a mockery and taking damage. And we'll get into combat and stuff when we start playing. Hopefully, it never comes to that.
All right.
But yeah, he doesn't want to take damage, but he has an arsenal.
He's got an arsenal, but he's also a lizard with a monocle and, a musical instrument. So who's really going to want to take that?
And he's with you guys now.
Yeah.
There's a guy with the bombs. There's a person who is an agricultural saboteur. And then we're about to find out whatever the hell you're going to be and how you fit into that couple.
Yeah.
So D100.
All right, let's do it.
I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah. So that is going to be a 65.
Here we go. 65. All right, whatever this is.
Don't just be an accountant. Be some cool.
It is. Oh, it is not. It is not that. You are a squid bagger.
What is that?
70% of Bastion's products contain cephalopod-derived parts. According to these studies, you keep the city running, but you failed at that. So a squid bagger. They have names like Otto, Sephi, Craker, Palpine. You don't have to use any of those names.
Wait, those are names of people that would-be squid baggers?
Yeah, those are just little sample names, little flavors to give you, get you inspired. You don't have to use any of that stuff, but kind of puts you in the mood, maybe, perhaps, of what your character's going to be like that. Also, Nathan and Gail, if you guys are listening, names. Obviously, that's something else. I always forget names. It's like usually the last thing I come up with. But yeah, you're a squid bagger. And you get automatically, you're going to get a squid hook, which is D6 and bulky. And you get a bag.
I got a squid hook and a bag. That's all a squid bagger needs.
You get to, yeah. That's all a squid bagger needs. If matey is his squid hook in his bag. His bulky ass squid hook.
Gosh. And a bag. Just like a burlap, sack?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. If that's what you envision you putting squids in.
Yeah.
That's what you got. This is so good. All right. You're going to roll a D6 one more time. Or 2 more times, but this first one is your starting money.
5.
So you have $5. 5 monies. And you answer the question, what always accompanied you to sea? And the answer is a friend urchin.
I have a little
So you have an urchin. Yeah, he has 1 HP. Irritating but harmless spines. And it hums comfortingly.
Oh my gosh. Little urchin friend with 1 HP. Oh my gosh. No one better ever kill that little urchin.
Yeah. It'll probably be the first thing you forget when we're playing this game, is that you have this urchin on you.
No. That's going to be core to my character.
Gail has a character in a game, and she has a dog. And anytime pets are involved, I always see they forget like the dog's there or the animal's there.
No, the urchin's going to have more of a backstory than my squid hooker, squid bagger.
Squid bagger. I like squid hooker. Squid hooker is cool.
Yeah, I got squid hook, but I'm squid bagger. All right, yeah.
And then we're going to roll it one more time. This is really the last time.
Okay.
And this will be your hit points.
4.
So you have 4 hit points. And this answers the question, what did you always want to do instead? And the answer is be a fortune teller. So you take a deck of cosmic tarot, but you don't really understand it.
I always wanted to be a fortune teller, but
So you have a deck of tarot cards that you don't know what to do.
Of course.
Could be failed career number 2.
Wow. Okay.
Squid bagger. Agricultural. What was it? Agricultural saboteur.
Yeah.
And a mockery.
Walk into a bar.
So let me bring our friends back in because this affects all of them. Hey, before we get to the rest of character creation, I just want to take this moment to tell you about our Patreon. It's episode 0, and we already have one. If you find a value in what we're producing, whether it's in the podcast or in the videos that we do over at YouTube, and you'd like to encourage us to keep doing what we're doing, words are dandy, but coin is handy. And it takes a bit of that coin to invest in the equipment, programs, and artists that work with us on this show. It's important to Gail and I that we pay our performers for their time, because their time, talent, and creativity is valuable to us. And if this is valuable to you, open up another tab and head over to patreon.com/getoutofdepth and join us at any level you feel comfortable with. We can't offer much in the way of perks right now, but I assure you that as we grow, so will our capacity to give more to our supporters. So that's patreon.com/getoutofdepth. Thank you so much for listening even this far. And back to the rest of episode 0. Every career also has a little addendum that says that if you're the youngest player in the group, then your group as a whole owe $10,000 in debt to, and there's a different answer for every career. So Squidbagger is the one that belongs to David, and since he's the youngest, we have the answer for who you all owe $10,000 to. The answer is you all owe $10,000 in debt to Mr. Dick, a colossal mock shark and loan shark. He attacks your ship if you go out to sea without paying your debt.
He's a literal shark.
He is, well, not a literal. He's a mock shark, like Nathan's a mock lizard.
So he's a Muppet shark.
Yeah, he's a felt wood.
What's his name again?
Mr. Dick.
Mr. Dick.
Can you spell that?
And, yeah. DICK. Dick.
And so, wait, could you read that one more time? So we owe him money, and what does he do?
If you try to get on your ship,
yeah,
and go out to sea, he will attack your ship
until we pay his debt.
Until you pay your debts.
All right.
So he's a problem, and he'll probably do more than that in this game if you guys don't come up with the money.
But it's but it's us all collectively owe this to the same person. So somehow the three of our debts are intertwined.
So now we get to what I feel is the one of the key ingredients for why this game works is that everybody shares this $10,000 debt. It's baked into the character creation so that when you start this game, you're automatically trying to figure out, how do I interact with this world in a way that gets me this money? And it's up to you guys to figure it out. But it also binds you all in this debt, in this collective problem, that you all have to figure out how to solve, or not solve. You could ignore it if you want to. It's just going to lead to problems, but there's going to be problems no matter what you do. But yeah, we have a mock shark. We have we essentially have a villain.
Yeah.
For this game.
Yeah.
And if it's not something we can really try and skirt around, he knows when we're on the sea. This is pervasive. It's
I think
we're landlocked.
I think he's got people.
Yeah.
He's got eyes. And he knows your movements because you owe him a large sum of money. And so he probably has a beat on you.
So
yeah.
So going to sea is probably not. He's trying to keep you locked in to Hackway Heights, probably.
This is insane.
Yeah.
I feel like this happened the last time when we were practicing, Yumi and Nathan, or trying out the game. Is this the fact that it's a mock shark and we have a mockery, and then David, his failed career was as somebody on the ocean. And to be honest, I was thinking, and I'm gonna tell you all this, I was thinking that I was going to be salty Sally Hill, who would salt farms so that they were ruined. And so it's the idea of maybe I got salt from the shark.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Like sea salt? Yeah.
I'm are you kidding me? I would get sea salt. I already chose salt as my
and that could be
weapon.
why you failed. That's your stash of salt.
Yeah, I owed him a lot of money, and then somebody didn't pay me or turn me in, and
did Mr. Dick used to get you your salt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he was my contact.
He was your salt hookup for these.
Ugh.
And then business dried up because
I have such high dexterity, I was able to sneak in and salt all of without anybody catching me.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to get to why you didn't succeed.
Yes.
What if I, while I was out, bagging squid, I offered you a better deal of I can get you lower prices than Mr. Dick can. Even though, so under the table, I was getting him salt. And when he found out, we can figure out if maybe there's a way to connect our debts together that way.
Yes.
Do you think you kind of you screwed her up by doing that?
Yeah. So I know full well that Mr. Dick is the salt supplier in that area, but I was trying to make some side cheddar. And as long as Mr. Dick didn't find out, it could benefit us both. But when Mr. Dick found out, changed everything.
So do you think you worked for him? Is that what you said?
Yeah. I mean,
or worked with him?
Potentially. He seems to be quite the businessman on the seas there. So Mr. Dick could have been my employer potentially.
What if Nathan was the go-between? He only keeps the mockeries close to him, or something like that.
I don't know. Nathan, what do you think?
Well,
what do you think? What were you thinking for your character?
Okay.
I've got questions about it because I didn't really get a job, right?
Right.
So what? Mockeries don't have to have jobs, right? They don't have to. Do they have to eat? Do they have to?
No, they don't have to eat. They don't really have to sleep.
But you said that they have the desire to.
The desire to be people, to be whatever's around them, to.
But there is kind of a separation of human folks, regular folks, and mockeries. it's not quite like segregation or anything, but there is that kind of like, oh, those are those, puppets, those weird moppets in their,
yeah.
Not they're kind of like started out as like maybe toys or something like that ended up becoming sentient.
So I was
still not sure.
I was kind of thinking of my character because he plays an instrument, that he's musical, that he's like the starving artist, but he can't starve, so he can like look down on other artists that give up their art, to try and make money or whatever. But he plays the violin, and he could be, they need that on ships or something like that, like normally those people are also deckhands or something. So I don't know. But it could be that he just plays around the docks or something to get close to everybody. But that's what I think just from all the info that I have, like that's his thing.
How big are you?
I think say a short human size, like not Hobbit level, but
like 5 foot.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
What kind of lizard do you think you are?
I'm seeing like I can't think of like what kind they are.
Just generic lizard?
No, I'm thinking of the generic lizards that would run around that I'd seen that they'll change color slightly, but they're little like flat guys that that are kind of long. They got little long tails and stuff.
Like, it's called, they're like
teeny tiny. Yeah, something like that. And they can change color slightly. I think that I should look it up. I'm going to look it up really quick.
Okay.
But yeah, I've got it pictured in my head, but I don't know anything about those things.
So why do you have bombs?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going. I'm like, but you've got like a dark side to you, or a dark past or something.
Starving artist.
So maybe
aspiring terrorist.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. Maybe my benefactor was Mr. Dick. So
I think
that like, how do I come into life? How do these mock things come into life?
Boy, I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to come up with an answer. I was gonna spring mockeries on you guys
later. Yeah. Well, later. We didn't skip it because there was a part of me that I was like, oh, maybe we should have just skipped that so you could spring it on us later because that would have been fun. But then we'd run into this villain anyhow. So.
Yeah,
it's happening anyway.
What if like we had this issue with Mr. Dick and we hired you as like an assassin to like try and take Mr. Dick down or something?
Nathan, you know what? Because we're playing in Hackway Heights and you're privy to a little bit of the history of the borough, you know that there are artists in Hackway Heights who are also terrorists.
Yeah.
And if Mr. Dick is a loan shark who is putting people in debt, he would perhaps be an enemy of this artist terrorist cell. So maybe that's an avenue. That's maybe an end that really connects you that really plugs the character into the world a little bit.
That's right.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. And in Hackway Heights, the location that I've created, there's a lot of different factions and people fighting, but one of the major battles is that there is like state-funded art that is seen as propaganda, and then there's like starving artists like our mock lizard here who are trying to create subversive art and disruptive art that is also physically damaging to the environment. They're trying to fight against the kind of bureaucracy that Bastion and Hackway Heights has become. So, there's a lot of different locations that I've created that are specific to those types of conflicts. So that could be something. Maybe you're a failed one of those. Or you're just trying to be a part of it.
Yeah.
It could be something like maybe Mr. Dick like owns the salt mines in that area. And I was trying to undercut it, and maybe with all these different business ties, we were able to try and get the Mockery to destroy the salt mine so that we could kind of undercut, Mr. Big's business, and it just went all amok. And
yeah,
something like that. I don't know.
I'm also looking up kinds of lizards.
We're like spitballing all these ideas, and he's like,
I'm like, this is a conversation for all of us, right? And then Jay, that last thing you said, I was like, he said something very specific, and it's right at me. And I was just reading about a lizard.
That's funny, man. Well, hopefully we get that lizard thing patched out.
Well, I was going to say,
I like the idea because, again, like one of the fun things for me of like, just to like find something really simple with a character and kind of stick with it. So I like the idea, Jay, that I would be connected through the art underworld. Because again, I like that's kind of his thing, that he's an artist and he just wants to play music. And he'll be, he'll do things for a good cause or whatever,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my knee-jerk reaction with the character.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, Jay, like you mentioned, like you don't know, you'll have to figure out where Mockeries came from. But is there maybe a case that Mockeries don't know where they came
from? Man, I got to do a little bit of world building to figure out the history of Mockeries.
Because, I mean, that's the thing. That was my first thing, is like maybe my dad is Mr. Dick. Like, all I knew was the ship, and I played on the ship. I played on the ship forever. And then, so I mean, that could be it. That, I just played on the ship forever, and that's all I really knew. And
you
David's
rebelled against his corporate empire.
Yeah, David's character lures me away somehow, and I've learned some pirating life as well. So I got some bombs and a hidden knife,
So, as far as like the $10,000, how you guys created this debt? He is a loan shark, but I think we're kind of leaning towards like you guys were. What, Gail? You were getting stuff from him on credit, right?
Yes.
For your
So,
jobs.
But it's more. I don't know. For some reason, I get the idea of like I was set up like he wanted, or someone wanted to take it out of my hide, basically, and somebody hired me to go ruin a field and actually told the person that they were going to get sabotaged. Does that make sense? Cream. What is this? Curious Creameries. Hired me and technically told. I don't know.
You got double.
I got double crossed, and then
set you up.
Was in jail. My name has been sullied, and I had to turn to.
It's expensive to go to jail.
So, and actually, I think he set that up so that I was totally in his debt, and like I owe him everything. I'm just basically
like Mr. Dick got Mr. you Dick. Out of jail.
Yeah.
But
I think he did. I think he did the dirty work with Curious Creameries.
Oh,
like said,
maybe.
Hey, let's do this.
That's a suspicion.
Yeah,
that's a suspicion. Maybe maybe that will be answered over the course of the podcast,
or something like that. Yeah, and I think maybe I'm overcomplicating that now that I'm thinking about it.
No, I think that if you're like, hey, I think I was double crossed. Okay. And now I'm indebted to this person who has spent money to get me.
Yes, he knew I was going to David. And then with David's character, like, or he knew I was going to somebody else. And then
maybe.
And then and then I had to out David.
Maybe both of you ended up in jail because he was supplying, maybe David was supplying, was trying to do on the side the salt hookup. And so he connected David to the police, the authorities, they connected David to supplying salt to a agricultural saboteur. So that means he's aiding, right?
Yeah.
He's an accomplice. So now we
had to pay some fines and some. Actually, I'm like thinking about the money that would have cost. I bet we've actually technically paid off a lot of our debt. It's like we just still got 10,000 left.
Oh, like it was worse.
It was probably like, oh, this is like 100,000. Like, gosh,
10,000. But I like that we had to roll a d6 to see what was so we're starting with. I start with 5. We're trying to get to 10,000.
As it says in the book, you start the game with enough money to buy a sandwich of varying quality.
Got it. So
an old egg salad from a vending machine,
and there's $6 sandwich.
I think you have the most. Yeah, I think you have the most money of everybody.
Yeah.
The money bags here.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah, but it kind of makes sense. Like my way of living is gone because like Mr. Dick won't even let me on the water anymore.
Yeah.
So
you got to figure it out on your own.
Yeah. We could also like, if we want to have kind of like separate little things and we all screwed over Mr. Dick in different ways, but met in jail, we could do it that way too. Like, I don't know. I could have, I don't know how many, what are they even called again? What are the Muppets called? I'm sorry.
Mockeries.
Mockeries.
I shouldn't have never said Muppets. What are these Muppets called? I should have never said Muppets.
Muppets called?
You said they were like Muppets, and that's the only thing that stuck. I don't know if there are mockeries in a lot of different places, but I don't know if I could have gotten in trouble with Mr. Dick instead because I was like poaching mockeries when I was bagging squid.
Yeah, Nathan, do you think maybe you all three met in jail? Like maybe you zigged when you should have zagged and you ended up in a bad situation?
Yeah. Yeah. So no connection to Mr. Dick at all. I'm just.
Well, no, maybe he got you out because he's a mockery.
I mean, maybe that's how you got out.
Yeah, he like put up your bond or something.
He hooked you up.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Maybe we served time, but you were out a lot quicker just because you had a benefactor of mockeries looking out for mockeries.
Maybe you guys became friends in jail.
Yeah.
And part of Nathan Lizard getting free was like, hey, can you hook my friends up? And then he says, I'll do it, but you have to work it off.
Or we could do this massive salt conspiracy. I mean, there's a lot of ways we can go.
Yeah. Massive salt conspiracy.
I love the idea also of like, I don't know, this mock lizard who like starts to hear about maybe I could go do real art, not the same old songs that they asked me to play on the ship all the time. And like, they're like, well, you know how to get rid of this guy. Here's some bombs.
And then like you set them. I go out to try to do this thing and get caught really
mess it up like horribly. Yeah. And they're like, okay, well, you're going to pay for that.
So are they going to give me my bombs back when I get out of jail? Is that how this works?
No, you have them. You have them stashed somewhere. Yeah, like the rest of them were stashed somewhere.
Stashed in your art studio.
There's like behind a loose brick.
Yeah.
In a random alley.
Yeah.
Your first day out, you like find that loose brick and pull out the random bombs. And you're like, just in case.
What does a squid hook even look like? I know I'm tangenting here. Should probably
No.
According to the picture, it looks like it has kind of a. See if I can pop it up here. You can see here, it's a long staff with a sickle end.
Yeah.
I'm getting kind of Sailor Moon vibes. Let me zoom in on it.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop.
Ooh, yeah. It's kind of like a scythe almost. Wow.
Yeah. Like a staff.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's intimidating. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys just like come out like the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, you got bombs. I got a squid hook. Did you have any type of weapons or armament?
She has a pitchfork.
A pitchfork.
Gail
has
a pitchfork.
Yeah.
You're an intimidating bunch. Yeah. Like there's certainly a based on what you guys received, like there's room for a lot of violence here. Which could bode not well for a 1 HP character like our mock friend.
I sent in the email. I sent you a picture of the lizard.
Okay.
I tried to do it in chat, but it didn't go.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Doesn't allow attachment.
Perfect. So it's blue.
A blue anole, so it can change color.
Oh. All right.
Okay.
So he looks kind of, just like nice little unassuming guy.
Yeah, just a very pleasant
but he's
guy
also,
with a
but he's like
knife.
5 foot big. Are you bipedal or are you mostly crawl around?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I just walk on 2 feet. I got to keep my playing hands. Right. Oh, by the way, did I say that he plays a violin? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it. Yeah, I didn't know if that was locked in.
Yeah, I think so. Unless something else happens. You're like, no.
In 2 weeks.
Mr. Dick loved electric guitar and on that ship.
In 2 weeks, I'm going to get 20 emails of 20 different instruments that you're like, I think it's this one now.
Yeah.
He also dabbled in bongos.
Did I tell you about the maracas? Cool.
One-man band.
So so we have a group of characters. We have the saboteur. We have the squid bagger. I think we're going with the idea that you all ended up in jail at the same time. Awesome. Whether it's by the salt conspiracy or not.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound good?
But for some reason, we all have a debt to the same person, and that's something that linked us while we were in jail.
Yeah. And maybe it's something that and it would be Mr. Dick, and then perhaps he's the one who got you out of jail so you can work it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how much it costs to get all of us out of jail.
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. So you don't have to be related to him if you don't want to. Maybe he sees potential. What do you think, Nathan? Do you still want to be?
Yeah.
Do you want
I like
be a son or no?
Well, yeah. No, yeah. I like the idea of that. I was like what Gail came up with of like that. I was trying to do a job for him. I totally effed it up. And so that's one of my big things. Like I have to make that up to him if I ever want to go out on the water again. Like I've got to make that right.
Okay. All right. I'm really liking some of these ideas. All right. So I think that kind of locks it in where you guys all ended up going to jail. And he became your benefactor. He freed you all. And now you know that you're going to have to work it off and you're not really sure what those jobs are going to be. But that's what we're going to find out when we start playing this game.
Yeah.
Boom.
There it is.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, that I think is it. We got a lot to think about. I have a lot to think about that I'm going to have to discuss. Now all of a sudden I have squids and Mr. Dick and mockeries that I have to add into the world. I think I have to add an ocean in.
Yeah, we've never touched the water before.
Yeah.
No.
So I've got a lot of cool planning to do.
the best seer in the world is across that ocean, and I need to get to her. So I need to get back on the seas.
Get training.
Oh man,
in the cosmic.
I have these tarot cards, but how do they work?
And only she knows. Only she knows the secret of these cards. Awesome. All right. Yeah. Okay. So that is it. I think this went really well. I had a lot of fun talking about these characters. I'm so excited for these people. And I'm so excited to invent all the stuff that we have questions about, and to help collaborate with you guys. You guys collaborate with me on how I'm going to invent these things. I think it's just, I'm so excited about this world now.
What a wild world. It's
going to be nuts.
Something reading the little rules that you sent me that I thought was very interesting was how it kept on talking about combat as a last resort, and you know, like, not every fight has to be a fight to the death, because in reality, like, what fights are actually fight to death? It's just so different from the D&D mentality, where, like, usually if you enter a combat in D&D, it's always a fight to the death.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is, like, more realistic in a way of, like, hey, you know, if we have a fight to death, one of us is going to die. You know, is it really worth the risk of entering that? And every combat has you know, that much more intention and kind of thought behind it.
Yeah, that's what I loved about it when we messed around with it before. That it felt more realistic. It felt like you are rewarded a lot more for just being cunning. You know, like playing a moment for reality, you know, like how could you maybe get around this, being this character in this situation, in, you know, with these other characters, how might you be able to play that to your advantage? And you know, that's where the big wins come. It's not like you punch him in the face, you know, like that's gonna go bad. Like it would in reality. So.
Right. And, you know, it said in, like, the other things of, like, think about during the combat, like, what is your goal of this fight? Like, if you accomplish that goal during the fight, if you get what you're trying to get, you know, you might try and stop the fight. And where's the line? Oh,
I love how excited you are right now.
That was one of my favorites.
This makes me feel so good.
This is all I want.
No, it's a total different mentality. And it even gave it examples of, like, you know, why would you fight if you can poison their water, or, you know,
oh, this is where I come in.
No,
it gave, like, some examples of, like, you know, creative ways to avoid the fight, because
burn down their house,
because it seems like we're all starting as pretty vulnerable people. We're not already, like, adventurers that, like, can necessarily overcome these obstacles. And also the risk. It has the whole section on risk versus reward. The treasure you're currently looking for isn't the only treasure in the world. Is it really worth that level of risk? Just like, that's so funny. Because, like, in most role playing, it's like, no, we're getting that treasure. That's what we're supposed to be doing. But it's like, would you maybe, like, try and come at it from a different direction? Create a forgery.
That's what I love about it.
Or otherwise,
create a forgery.
That's what I love about it too, though, is I think it was one of the reasons Jay said that's why he wanted to try that with, like, me and Gail and James, who we were playing with before, that we, you know, me and Gail specifically are really like that, where we would be doing normal Dungeons and Dragons stuff, and we were like, stop in the middle of it. Do we need to go down there and do that? And we just turn around and go a different direction.
No, I'm just not feeling
stay away from danger.
Really dangerous.
Like
I think we're just gonna go.
I think we're
They initiated this fight where they were charging at these hobgoblins at this cave, and there was this standstill where they were like, "We're tougher than you," and "No, we're tougher than you." And then the hobgoblins just, like, turned around and walked into their cave. And it became an hour. And this is not going to be the case for the podcast, I don't think. I'm going to try to avoid this. It became an hour of them, like, debating hardcore. Are we going to go into that cave?
We walked into the dark of the cave, but we're just kind of staring in, and we're like, I don't know that we really intimidated them, or they're just gonna murder us inside of there.
Like, they didn't know how many hobgoblins were in there. Like, do we really, like, man, there's a lot we don't know about any of this.
Well, and I think,
you know what? Let's go home.
We'd already fought something else, and we're like really low, and like, well, do we think that we could sleep somewhere and then come back?
And it felt like a side quest anyhow.
It
was like, yeah. It was like, does this have to do with what we were really wanting to do? Like,
yeah. Like, wait.
And that's when I knew. That's when I knew that this was the game for you guys. This is the game of like, no, this is dumb. Let's figure out a different way to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did everybody name their character yet? Or are we waiting on that?
Oh my God. No. We can if we want. I don't want to put anybody on the spot if they're not prepared. But Gail did. She did. So Gail, you are going to be playing
Salty Sally Hill.
Nice. Salty Sally Hill.
Sally Hill. I'm sending it in the chat there. Tremolo. It's a thing that you can do on string instruments to make like a vibrating sound. You hit the same note a bunch.
Yeah.
Thing.
What a great name. What a great name. Oh, man. Awesome. Is David any close to a name? No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally. Wait. Do I really have a delay of, reputation for not coming up with names quickly?
Oh, no. I have no idea. You had a look of concern on your face when they went through Salty Sally and Tremolo so quickly. And it was just like, what do you got?
I don't have my last name yet, but I think I'm going to go with Nesbit. But I normally go by Nez. Yeah.
Is that with his S or a Z?
Oh, Z. Definitely a Z. Yeah. Nez.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I love that.
Yeah.
Nesbit.
Yeah.
Nice. Nesbit, Sally Hill, the salty one, and Tremolo.
That's why my charisma's so low. I'm extra salty.
What a fantastic group of names. This is so fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh man, I can't wait to meet these characters more in depth. On Out of Depth Plays. Right? Did you see me?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Perfect. Oh, I saw that.
No, let's do it again. Gail kind of stepped on it, Gail.
You took too long.
No, it was a dramatic pause. Hang on. Well, I can't wait to see. Eyeline's here. Hang on. I cannot wait to see these characters more in depth. Gail, I swear to God. I'm going to mute you. Mute yourself. I cannot wait to see these characters. I cannot wait to see these characters more in depth on Out of Depth Plays Hackway Heights. Boom. Crushed it. With all of that going on. Assholes.
It was really, I was the
nailed
asshole.
it. Nailed it. That's why they pay me the big bucks. To not say lines.
To repeat again and again until you get it just right.
Say it again.
Once more with feeling.
Cuss my party out and tell them all to shut the hell up so I can get a line just right.
And with that, I'm just going to remove them because now they have to stop talking. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Special thanks to Nathan, David, Gail. I'm so excited to play with these people. I cannot express it more than just saying I'm really excited. And I hope that when these episodes come out, you're able to join us. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff on the YouTube channel and on the website of showing how I prepare for this game. So you'll get a little bit of behind the scenes look at what I do to facilitate this storytelling game with my friends. So join us. See you soon.